I mean, obviously, we don't have an issue with joining BEPS, which of course we welcome. What we take issue with is the idea that this is somehow a quid pro quo for joining the tax agreement, and the tax agreement somehow gives Gibraltar more recognition. Whereas if you read Spain's position statement, which is on the OECD website, it makes it quite clear that their position hasn't changed. And in fact, the only other country that has such a reservation on the OECD website is Turkey in respect to the Republic of Cyprus. So in terms of Spain's attitude to Gibraltar, we're not really seeing a change.
But isn't it true that the Gibraltar government has never claimed that the tax treaty would result in any shift in Spain's traditional position as regards Gibraltar's sovereignty? It said that it would recognise registered Gibraltarians and local authorities such as tax.
Yes, of course, but if you look at the statement that they given to the OECD, it's effectively saying the exact opposite. It's saying that they don't recognise Gibraltar as such, and they reserve their position in respect of Gibraltar. So to say that Spain has somehow shifted its position in Gibraltar in respect of the tax treaty, I think is taking it a bit too far.
But does the tax treaty not recognise registered Gibraltarians? How would it be an effective tax treaty if it didn't?
Well, we're talking about BEPS here and how BEPS has been entered into. And by Spain somehow withdrawing a veto, which is perverse when you think about it, because really BEPS is about transparency, which Gibraltar is all about. They vetoed us joining BEPS and kept us on their blacklist. The tax treaty itself, in terms of Gibraltarians, it's not that much of a win, if there is a win at all, compared to the position that Spain is still stating.
Yes, but I'm referring to the tax treaty because you have linked this to Gibraltar's inclusion into BEPS and what the tax treaty does or doesn't recognise. But isn't Gibraltar's inclusion into BEPS a positive thing? There are 130 countries now that form part of this framework, which is designed to prevent tax avoidance.
I agree entirely. I mean, it's all about tax-based erosion and profit shifting, which in today's world and in the age we live in is something that countries worldwide recognise is a problem. And Gibraltar, of course, wants to show the world that we are entirely tax transparent. There's no problem with that. What I find offensive is that Spain should have exercised the veto to us joining that framework in the first place.
When I spoke to the Chief Minister the other day about BEPS, he made an analogy with the Cordoba Agreement under the GSD administration, which of course resulted in telephony gaining the 350 prefix. I mean, that's what these agreements do. It's a bit of quid pro quo, a bit give and take.
Well, there always is quid pro quo in realpolitik, but I don't think that the trade-off here, removal of a veto in terms of joining BEPS, and in terms of what the tax agreement says, which again, while our position is quite clear, we don't think the tax treaty favours Gibraltar at all. I don't think there is a quid pro quo there.
You think the price paid was too much?
Well, I don't think there should have been a price paid at all.